but who makes the better beats? The DJ slash producer or the rapper slash producer?
Oh, that's a good question, bro. I like your
In your opinion, right?
Ooh, I'm gonna tell you why I'm stuck. Because I'm gonna give it to you from two perspectives.
Right.
The MC slash producer, when he's making a beat, or she, they're making a beat and they're creating their rhyme patterns as they're making it, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been in a room with a few of them.
Right.
So that type of like dynamic when you in approaching into going into production, I'm not gonna sleep on the MC producer. I'm just not gonna do it. Like, but what I will say is that the DJ producer we're Jedi Knights, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, if as a DJ and a producer, we have a lot of things that the MC producer doesn't have.
DJ Phantom, what's good?
What's going on with you?
All right. Welcome to Strictly for My Diggers.
Listen, I appreciate you having me, bro. I appreciate that. Seriously.
Word. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. DJ Phantom. Yeah, I heard your work, on Huss, Huss Kingpin's new project. So, I had to reach out. You know what I mean? It's only right.
I appreciate you.
It's only right.
Right.
So it's safe to say that this hip hop thing started for you as a DJ.
Of course.
Okay.
Good question. So I've been DJing since I was 9 years old.
Okay.
My pops is a real cool dude. He bought me my first set of straight on turntables. I was 9 years old. It was Christmas. I think the year was 85.
Right.
So for me, two straight on Technique turntables, a Radio Shack mixer with no space.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah. So that's how I started. The first two albums that he gave me was by a group from Scotland called the Average White Band.
Right.
And, the name of the album was called Soul Search, and it was two copies of the same album. So he gave me a quick lesson. He taught me how to double.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he said, this is what you do. And he was like, you figure it out.
Got you.
And that was the lesson that he gave me pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I figured it out.
Right. Because you know what's crazy? Because I was going to ask you, I said, is DJ Phantom on the turntables or DJ Phantom on Serato? I was trying to figure out, because people call themselves DJ, whatever, and they ain't paid them dues.
That's right. Listen, I come from the crates, bro.
Okay.
Carrying crates and rocking parties, and you know what I mean? I really come from the crates. So I was very stubborn when it came to Serato.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I was so stuck on records.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I didn't actually, my partner, DJ 151, he's the one who got me into Serato. He turned me on to CDJs first.
Right.
So before Serato came and you had like the CD turntables, the Pioneer joints, like he had those, and I'm not sure if he still rocks those today, but I know that like he did. Like, his setup was those Pioneer CDJs. He used it to control with a rain mixer. And then he had Serato. He graduated from the CDJs to Serato. So all of that I learned from him.
Got you. So as DJ Phantom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scratch DJ, you can get busy on the wheels, correct?
come on, dog. Like I do this. Like I get busy. You
All right. Cool. Now, is there a mixtape DJ Phantom that put out the hot mixtapes as well?
Okay. You asking me about me, or you ask me about another DJ Phantom?
You DJ Phantom. Are you putting out mixtapes as well? Are you that type of DJ as well?
I was in the 90s.
Okay.
I was absolutely. So that's how I got the name Phantom, actually. So I'll explain that story. High school, early 90s.
Okay.
And this dude asked me to make him a personal tape. Like I was known in my high school for making personal mixtapes for people.
Gotcha.
And, like, you know what I mean? They would give me like the names of the people to shout out and so on and so forth. And you know what I mean? And rep their hood and, 30-minute, 60-minute tapes.
Right.
And what happened was that this one particular cat, I didn't have his tape ready. So I was ducking and dodging them, like, you know what I mean? To like try to, stall them out, like, to give me like a few days or whatever.
Right.
And what happened was he caught me and he got upset, but instead of like him like getting mad, he started clowning me. So he was like, yo, you're not a real DJ. You a Phantom DJ. You a Phantom. You're not even real like that. You a ghost, blah, 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 blah. And then I went home that same day from school.
Right.
And Scooby-Doo was on. And this particular episode of Scooby-Doo, like Shaggy and Scooby was afraid of the Phantom ghost.
Right.
So Scooby said, Shaggy, look, it's the Phantom.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You sound like you around my age. Going to high school in the 90s. Yeah, we around the same age.
Absolutely. Okay, there you go. So when Shaggy said that, I said, that's it. I said, I'm Phantom going forward.
Right.
Then I tagged my name on a piece of paper to see what it would look like.
Right.
And it looked mean. And that was it. It sealed the deal. Like, you know what I mean? Right. So between and this was all in the same day. So this is me ducking and dodging homie for the tape.
Right.
Me watching Scooby-Doo that day. Me writing my name and B-Graph writing my name on a piece of paper. That's how I got the name Phantom.
Cool. So the next question, all right, we know you get busy on the wheels. You make mixtapes, right?
Yep.
Does DJ Phantom rock parties?
I get busy at parties, bro.
Boom.
No, I rip parties down, bro. Like, don't listen. As a DJ, bro. As a DJ, we ain't even talking production yet.
No, we ain't got there yet. Yeah.
As a DJ, bro, listen, I can't go anywhere near my hood, nowhere, and talk about me being a DJ or whatever, like, and can't, and don't rip parties. Like, you know what I mean? If you're not rocking parties where I come from, bro, you're not a DJ. Like, you know what I mean? If you can't drive them crazy, like, you know what I mean, and play them joints.
Right. So, Phantom, where you from?
Okay, so I'm originally from upstate New York. I'm Canadian.
Okay.
Right? So I grew up in Syracuse.
Stove Guard Cooks.
Exactly. So I moved to Long Island and
Long Island. What part?
Central Islip.
Okay, I'm from Freeport and Hempstead.
Oh.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of Nassau County talk today.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of Nassau County talk today. All right. Yeah. So I moved to CI mid-90s, like 95, 96.
Right. Shout out EPMD, you know what I mean? K-Solo.
All day. Rest in peace, Craig Mack.
Keith Murray, that whole area.
Absolutely. The whole Hit Squad, Death Squad, absolutely. Biz, rest in peace.
Absolutely. Diamond Shell, guys don't know about that.
Exactly.
Right. JVC Force. But anyway.
Of course, Kirk Kazal, peace.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, so I moved to Long Island in the mid-90s and stayed. Okay. You know what I mean? So I did the school thing. I went to Stony Brook University.
Right. Exit 20. What's that? Exit 61? Was it?
62.
62. Yeah, right.
62 off the LIE. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then yeah, that's it. And then I started radio in 98.
Okay.
In 98.
98. That's what's up. So being a DJ, was it a natural progression to go into making beats?
100%. Because if we're around the same age, then you understand that the DJ tape and the blend tape era from the 90s.
Ooh, Dirty Harry. Come on.
Come on. SNS.
Craig G.
Craig G. Dog Time, Doo-Wop,
Right.
Clue later on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Chill Will from the East Side, Brucey Beat, like all of the DJs or whatever, even DITC DJs like Buck Wild and Lord Finesse was in on it too, like as far as mixtapes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so just the whole mixtape blending thing, that's the ill transition into production because I was already doing that.
Right.
And then what was going on is that we were taking instrumentals and blending them together with a full cassette deck because we didn't have a sampler and was making pause tapes like that.
Absolutely. I mean, oh yeah, most definitely.
So that is the beginning stages of like producing for me because like when you're blending, you're producing anyway because you're creating remixes of a record that's already out. Right. So like, these are the beginning stages of producing anyway, like as far as the DJ transition.
Right. True indeed. So what when you really started making beats and banging on, I guess, the pads per se.
Sure.
What was the first piece of equipment you used?
2000 XL.
Yes.
2000 XL.
Yes. Yeah, I've been on that for like the last 20 years. I just switched over to MPC Studio. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yes. Love it.
How is it?
Love it. I ain't going back. Love it.
So my partners, Pound the Problem and Ike Infamous, they actually purchased the MPC One. And they're trying to get me to go back to MPCs because I use Reason.
Okay.
And I've been Reason since Reason 3. So they really trying to get me to go back to the MPC. Like, yo, Phantom, I'm telling you, this is it. Like, yo, everything that you want, they got it now. They fixed everything. Cause I was kind of I was mad at the car for a minute.
Right.
I was really mad at the car for a minute. And I felt like the doors were actually, you know, kicking a car in the behind a little bit. Like, you know, as far as like, you know, the technology and what you're able to do and so on and so forth. So I heard beautiful things about the live, all the MPCs.
Right.
The updates on the Renaissance, like I've heard nothing but dope things about all of them.
Right. So what made you transition from hardware to software? And do you find that software is much easier?
I never take the easy way out of producing. So I don't think it's an easy or a hard thing for me. It's just more of what works. You know what I mean? Like, cause I tried a lot of them. I tried Cakewalk. I tried Logic. I tried the machine, the Native Instruments machine. I tried that. You know what I mean? Reason was just like the best fit.
Right.
But excuse me. I would not mind going back to the MPCs.
Yeah, go back. Coming from that DJ background, go back to the banging on them pads. Now,
no, I do now because I have the controller.
Okay, cool.
I have the 32.
Cool. So you're using software. Now, I know this is a silly question because I already know the answer to this. But I'm gonna ask you this.
Okay.
Are you sampling on vinyl or are you digging online?
I'm not digging online, bro.
Okay, so you're still digging in them crates, even though you're using software. And you're using a turntable and all that. Okay.
So, cool. I wish my setup was in this room. I would show you.
Right.
I really minimized it, but I have an iMac. I have a Gemini PS626 mixer.
Okay.
The DJ mixer.
Right.
What I do is I go out from the computer into the mixer and then go right back into it. So there's the digital, analog, digital. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I want the grit. So when I'm sampling from a record, you get that warmth going right back into the computer. Right. I have to have it. Like, you know what I mean? There has to be some type of like vintage feel like in the production.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
So you got mad records as it is as a DJ. I mean, where are you keeping these records? Because I mean, if you keep digging, I mean, like I have no more room. I was digging, and it's just hard, man.
I'm running out of space, bro.
Right. I got records under the sink. I got records under my bed. I got records all over the place.
Listen, man, I can relate to you, bro. I'm telling you right now, like I'm running out of space, bro.
Right.
Like everywhere, every nook and cranny in the crib, there's a record somewhere.
Right. Under the couch. I mean, I'm going digging tomorrow, and I'm like, yo, I don't know why I keep doing this. You know what I mean? Because there's no room. But I love digging in the crates.
I'm gonna tell you why. Listen, we could be doing worse things in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Like people got their vices. Ours is records, B.
Right.
You know what I mean? We ain't bothering nobody. It's a cool vibe. You meet cool people along the way. It's music. It gives you a vibration. You get excited to go home and take them records out. Like, you know what I mean? To dig for samples. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not the only one who feels like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a beautiful thing to dig, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Don't beat yourself up for that. Like, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You know?
So when you go into the record store, do you have an idea what you're looking for, or how do you know to buy this record? Like when you're digging in the crates, is it the cover? Are you looking at the year? Are you looking at the instruments? How do you know, like, yo, this is coming home with me?
All the above, bro.
Okay.
All the above. The cover, the label, the jacket. I'm a music nerd. So I'm looking at producers. I'm looking at musicians. I'm looking at the year. I'm looking at everything, bro. Like I'm literally looking at the record inside and out, taking it out. And if it's a spot, like I'm not sure where you go, but like and I don't want to like give up spots online.
Right. No.
Exactly. But like if it's like a spot where like you could go and like listen to the record before you purchase and build, then I'm doing that all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I like it.
Yeah. Whereas me, I like the surprise. You know what I mean? I like to take it home and just see what's on there. Because you know me, I like the dollar crates. There's a lot of gems in that dollar crate.
You don't understand see, we probably went to the same spots. Listen, let me tell you something about the dollar crates.
Right.
My man, shout out, let me get myself comfortable. Shout out to my man Jair, who is he's from Uniondale.
Right. Yes.
Is my guy. And he's the one who turned me on to the dollar crates because that's my original digging partner. Like I used to go to spots in the city with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he would always put me on like, yo, Phantom, like, yo, them dollar bins. Don't sleep on them dollar bins. Every time we went to a spot, like, yo, go under the table, go to the dollar bins. And you know what I mean?
Right. Because see, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now. You know what I mean? And you know, I like going to flea markets, Goodwills.
I come from that.
You know what I'm saying? Thrift stores.
From that, yeah.
50 cent a record, you know what I mean? And made some fire.
Cent a record. You know what I mean? Putting on like, you know, trust me, I come from the flea markets, bro.
Right.
Like up here, like I shouldn't say this, but years ago in Syracuse, like in the 80s, like there would always be like a weekend flea market or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like where you would go and they would have records in the middle of the joint. You know what I mean? So like it would always be like 2 or 3 flea markets or whatever, like you know, on a weekend that's popping. And I would make sure I would go early. I would have my grandparents take me early, so I would go straight to the records, grab those, and it's like, all right, I got what I want. Y'all can go ahead and do what y'all want to do. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get mine off the top.
Right. Indeed. So I'm gonna ask this question, and I already pretty much know what you're gonna say. But who makes the better beats? The DJ/producer or the rapper/producer?
Oh, that's a good question, bro. I like it.
In your opinion, right?
Ooh, I'm gonna tell you why I'm stuck. Because I'm gonna give it to you from 2 perspectives.
Right.
The MC/producer, when he's making a beat, or she, they're making a beat and they're creating their rhyme patterns as they're making it, right? And I've been in a room with a few of them.
Right.
So that type of like dynamic when you in approaching into going into production, I'm not gonna sleep on the MC producer. I'm just not gonna do it. Like, but what I will say is that the DJ producer we're Jedi Knights, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, if as a DJ and a producer, we have a lot of things that the MC producer doesn't have.
Right.
We're thinking about the beat and the rhythm, and like we're thinking of a whole bunch of things at once.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna give you an answer. I'm gonna say the DJ producer.
Okay, I figured you would. Would.
I'm just gonna say that.
I figured you would.
I was trying to be politically correct, but I can't do that. Like, I'm just gonna say the
Right. So you being a DJ producer, because you know, but back in the 80s, you know, it was always about the MC and DJ. So now it's about the MC and producer. You know, you see a lot of MC producers making projects. Like I'm a beat maker. I don't DJ and I don't rhyme anymore, whatever. So I make beats. Sure. But I think the main advantage you have is that you can be a part of a show. I can't. I got to stand on the side and watch, you know, the MC I produce for rhyme over my beat. But you can DJ and be a part and go on tour with him. And that's the advantage you have, you know what I'm saying, over someone who's just a beat maker, who's not a DJ.
That's right. Look at some of them. You got Premier, you got Pete Rock, Dr. Dre, the DJ.
Right.
Ninth Wonder rocks, like whoever, like he's on tour with, speaking of North Carolina.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Crisis, he rocks on the ones and twos, and then like he's a producer. So like, you know, you have when you have that it's kind of an edge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because you already have a working relationship with the artist in the studio.
Right.
Now to take that energy and synergy and carry that to the stage.
Right.
It's light work.
And then on top of that, you cut. So you could, you know what I mean? Add cuts to the records and everything.
We control the whole vibe. Right.
So in your production, do you add cuts and scratches to your production?
Yes.
Because you know that's a lost art too. People are not scratching on records no more on the songs.
I know.
You know what I mean? Are you scratching and, you know, doing cuts and all of that on, you know, within your beats?
You know what's funny? I answer that by saying I scratch and blend in my sounds, and that's how I make my beats actually.
Okay.
So like I'm actually like literally scratching in the parts that I want to sample to see if it goes.
Right.
Now if I catch it on the fly live, I'll keep it and sample it. You know what I mean? And then like alter it later.
Right. So basically, when making a beat, you're starting with the drums first and cutting the pieces over the drum to see how it sounds. Is that correct? Or
that's correct, but I'm actually starting with the sounds first, and I had the drums in my head. See, I work backwards.
Okay.
It's backwards. So I'll start off with the sounds and then take the drums after I already have like the record that I want to sample. Right. Then I'm bringing the drums in. So it's actually, yes, you're right. Like you would think drums first and then sounds, but I do it backwards. I do sounds and then drums.
Right. So are you more of a looper or a chopper?
Both.
What do you prefer?
I started looping again because I haven't looped in years.
Right.
It's the Huss Kingpin record. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Like that's a loop. It's manipulated, and I did a whole bunch of layering and stuff, but that's me looping again because I'm back to just being groovy on a record. Like I think groove is missing in hip hop, man. Like there's no groove going on. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I love where hip hop is right now. Like I have no complaints, but I'm like, yo, where's the groove at? Where's that vibe?
Right. And you know what I've noticed is that you can mess up a good groove by trying to chop and be too technical and get, you know what I mean? You can really mess up a good groove. Sometimes you just gotta let that rock.
You have to.
You know what I mean? You gotta let it rock. You know, a lot of times, you know, because a lot of producers want to brag about, oh, I chopped this up in 16 pieces. Yeah, but it still came out whack.
Exactly.
You know I mean? It still don't have that, you know what I mean?
Unless you are chopping and your chops are so smooth,
right?
You don't catch the chops,
right?
You understand what I'm saying? Like you gotta be that ill where you're chopping the samples
like a loop, right?
Can't hear the chops, almost like you taking the record apart and putting it back together. And when you put it back together, it sounds like if you were to put the needle to the record, it would rock like that. But the trick is that it doesn't.
Right. So being that you're sampling off the vinyl, all your drums are coming off vinyl, or you messing with packs?
Nah, I've never used the sound pack, bro.
Neither have I. I don't know nothing about none of that. Plugins, I don't know nothing about that.
Huss put me on.
Okay.
Huss put me on. I had a conversation with him, and we're gonna speak about Huss too.
Sure.
Huss put me on, and he said, "Yo, Phantom." He's like, "Yo," he said, "Let me give you the 1-2." He said, "This is the new wave." He said, "This is what's going on right now." Like, yo, he's telling me about sample packs. He's telling me about like people creating their own samples. Like, you know, he's like, "Yo, just get on this wave, Phantom. I'm telling you." Like, Huss is on it. Like, so anything that's like going on that's like rocking now and future, like he knows about it.
Right.
So he's trying to get me on that, but I've never used the sound pack. And let me explain why I haven't. I'm kind of stubborn.
Right.
You might relate to me on this one.
Yes, I can.
I'm kind of stubborn. I'm just not into, outside of like ultimate beats and breaks.
Right.
Like, I'm really not into using other people's stuff like that. Like, and I don't want to use the same drums that other people use. Right. Even if I'm using breaks, I'm doing things to mine that make them sound different.
So you're stacking them. Stacking the drums.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing a whole lot. A whole lot. A lot of EQing. Like I've become ill with the mixes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So I mix my own records. So you know what I mean? There's things that I'm doing or whatever to make my drums and just my sound a little bit different.
Right. So how do you keep your drum patterns from sounding repetitive? Because I'm not a drummer. Are you a drummer?
I'm not, but DJing is percussion.
Right.
Because you're scratching and like, you know what I mean? You catching the rhythm or whatever. So there's a percussion energy to being a DJ. But no, I'm a piano player, bro. Like I study music theory.
Right.
So like I'm really about melody. You know what I mean?
Right. So when it comes to the drums, quantizing or you just going straight natural with it?
Natural.
Quantize is shut off and you're just
completely off.
Just banging out. Now, when you do your drums, are you banging it out boom boom, or is it separate? The kick, one track, the snare, one track, the hi-hat, one track.
You know, it depends because it depends on how I want to mix.
Right.
And I have like two completely different setups.
Right.
I have like kind of a Motown 60s-esque setup.
Right.
With Reason, where like I have a bunch of tracks going into like one track. And then the other track is for the vocals.
Right.
Like, and I do that because like you get like your own sound like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had that set up, but then I also have a setup where like I have everything split between, like you said, kick, snare, hats, open hats, crashes, like every single type of sound is separate. You know what I mean? So it just depends on how I want to mix the record.
Right. And so with you being a DJ, you know, you're making mixtapes, you're rocking parties, your BPMs range has to be, are you up in the 90s nowadays? With your range? With your BPM, with production.
I'm anywhere from the 60s all the way up to like 150.
Ooh, 150?
150.
Wow, that's like house music.
House music and or trap and or drill. So like I do it all, bro.
Right.
I do it all, bro. Like you know what I mean? And I do that to keep my skill set sharp.
Right.
So like whatever like vibe is going on, like trust me when I tell you I got a few of those beats in the stash too. Like, you know what I mean? Just for practice and just keeping myself sharp. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. So with the bass lines, I mean, are you catching those sounds off the record? Are you filtering out the bass line? Or are you playing them off a keyboard?
All the above.
All the above.
Because all the above. Listen, a lot of gritty, groovy bass lines are from records in the beginning of the record, before like all the other instruments come in, and or it's a breakdown in the middle of the record where like the bass player gets busy. You know what I mean? So like I catch something that's on a record, I'll take that and put it in Reason and an NNXT and turn around and just, you know what I mean, and manipulate the keys. So like I can have like different ranges of keys on my bass, and then I could play it naturally like on the keyboard.
Now, when you play it on a keyboard, just regular, like just turn the keyboard and play it.
Right.
Do you sample yourself playing it and then take it and manipulate it?
I do that.
Yeah, because you can do a lot more with a sampled sound, even if you're playing, you know, original music you're playing. But I found that if you sample yourself, take that sample and do much more with the sampled sound.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so I just wonder, do you do that when you're playing the bass lines out? Are you sampling yourself playing the bass line and then working it in the beat, filtering it and things like that?
Yes and no. So if I get a groove how I want it, like off of first take or second take, yes, then like I'll leave it. But if not, like I'll just like record myself like playing whatever instrument I'm playing, and then resample after that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then for me playing, I also create like my own like libraries of sounds too.
Right.
Because if I'm playing like different chords or whatever, like I'll go back to those chords later.
Right.
Or I'll go back to the bass later or whatever it is that I'm playing.
Right. So even with like drums or whatever, do you have like, when it's time to make a beat, do you have like preset drums that you use? Like, you know, a kit that you've made, a DJ Phantom kit that you go to, or you start from scratch all the time looking for new drums?
Sometimes I get bored with the drums that I'm using.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, I don't feel like using these drums.
Right.
I want to challenge myself and go to like new drums. So like I'll look for drums until I hear the like kick that I want, until I hear the snare that I want. And my beat process takes me a little bit longer.
Right. And do you have preset drum patterns that you made that you use, you know, once you find a sample or whatever, you know what I mean?
Recently, I have like a whole library of like what I call DJ Phantom loops, where like I'll turn around and like I'll create like a drum pattern and then just see the drum pattern. And then I'll just tell myself like, look, that's one that's saved. I'm gonna find a record or play a melody or something to go right with that drum pattern. Sometimes like when I'm digging for a record, I'm listening to something, I'll refer back to the drum loops that I created, like, wait a minute. And then I get on my DJ blend thing, like, you know what I mean? And blend the sound in.
Right. Do you think that helps your workflow doing that?
It helps me to be creative and not to be bored.
Right.
Because I get bored quick. You know what I mean? So like me switching up like my method, it does that.
Right. I was just wondering, like, you know, having these, you know, preset, you know, your drum kits, your drum patterns, does it help, you know, the workflow? Like, okay, I found the sample, boom, here's the, you know, instead of having to go back and find drums and things like that. Now, do you have, since you're sampling more vital, do you have records that are strictly for drums that you go to, like in a sectioned off in your crates?
I wish it was like that. I wish it was like that. I have my joints in alphabetical order, bro. So like, you know what I mean? Like I know like all my records, but they're all in alphabetical order. 12 inches, alphabetical, hip hop, alphabetical, my jazz, my rock, my funk, all alphabetical.
Right. Definitely. So right now you're wearing the producer hat more nowadays, correct? Than really DJing. You know, the producer thing, you know, that's what's really, you know.
Both, because I'm still on radio.
Okay.
I'm still on radio. That's Monday night thing, midnight to 3, WUSB.FM. So like I'm still 24 years. So like I'm still I'm still rocking.
Right. Okay. Right. So you just but the production thing, how can I say, is that taking off a little bit more than the DJing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So my priority is definitely production.
Right.
Definitely production.
Got you. So let's go into how you met Huss Kingpin. How did that happen?
How much time you have?
Let's talk, man.
Okay. So brace yourself. All right. So in 2003.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So in 2003, I got approached by a collective called Distant World Entertainment. These are brothers and sisters based from Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk County, Long Island.
Right.
What they wanted to do was they wanted to open up a open mic showcase or whatever for their artists and then open it up to everybody. So this open mic showcase became what's called Life Open Mic, or Long Island's Finest MCs.
Right.
Like this open mic showcase started in 2003 and ended in 2006.
Right.
Now, let me explain to you the amount of beautiful, talented people that came through that open mic showcase, and then you get an idea. So in this open mic showcase, there was an artist from Amityville, Long Island. His name is Rosewood.
Rose. I know Rose.
Okay, so Rose started coming through. When Rose was coming through, he has a best friend and a rhyme partner from Newark, New Jersey.
Makami.
Boom. Now, while Rose is coming through and he's telling Mock about what's going on, there was an MC from Brownsville, Brooklyn, from Roosevelt, Long Island, by way of Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Marvelous Mag?
Exactly.
Sunny South Beach, yeah.
Huh?
Sunny South Beach now, I think he called himself now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Magnum had two dudes with him called the Outsiders, and the name of that collective was called Magnum and the Outsiders. But
Right.
the Outsiders is Huss and Smooth. So Huss, Kingpin, and Smooth, Magnum, Rose, Mock Homie. You have a producer MC by the name of Q Morocco that's also from Roosevelt and reps Freeport. You have a phenom by the name of Keita Face. You have Colorado G. You have the 40 Bandits from
40
Lakeview.
Bandits from Lakeview. Yep.
Right, and they appeared on Lord Jamar's 5% album. Right. Now, before all of that happened, their beginning was Life Open Mic. So we started taking, this is my partner Ike, this is my partner Keith and P, this is myself. We started taking a liking to the artists that were performing at the Life Open Mic.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna name drop somebody. Kid Cudi was unsigned, and he also came through to perform at the same open mic showcase.
So what was this? This open mic was on Long Island. What part? Where in Long Island?
Belmore.
Oh, wow. Belmore. Okay.
So it was a little spot called Live Tracks right under the Belmore train station.
Okay.
Yep. So that's where it was. So I say that to say this is the beginnings of Huss, Smooth, Magnum, Rose, and Mock. So I'm actually the beginning to all of them because I started working with them as individuals. Magnum, I was working with him. Huss and Smooth, I was working with them. Rosewood is who I started working with, and then I got Mock through Rose.
Mock, right. Got you. Wow. So how did this whole you getting a track on this new project come out? You know what I mean?
So what happened was last September, Huss and Smooth did an interview with Justin Hunt, who was formerly of Complex Magazine.
Yes, true indeed. Yes, I saw that.
And what happened was that Easter Gun Day 4 was out.
Right.
West Side Gun with Mock on it.
Right.
So what happened was that Justin was asking Smooth, how did all of this start? Like as far as like the, you know, whatever going back and forth between Huss and Gun and them. So when they asked Smooth that, Smooth was getting into the situation or whatever, like just like giving Justin like a bird's eye view of what was going on. But he stopped himself and he said, DJ Phantom was the first one to host the tape for us, put us in position. So when I caught that, I reached out and commented on that and showed Smooth love for that. That was my first. After that, we began communicating again. Now I ain't speak to Huss and Smooth in like over a decade.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what happened was when I spoke with Huss, I let a cat out the bag. Huss and Smooth were working on HNIC 2, which is not out yet.
Right.
And Huss told me, he said, look, he said, you might want to get with this. This is the concept or whatever. Like, send me some heat over. Now, my first placement with Huss was a record called Nights that was on the Cognac tape.
Yes.
By Rock Marciano.
True. That's when I first started rocking with Huss.
Right. So, okay, good start. So there was already a working relationship production-wise with Magnum, Huss, Smooth, and Rose.
Right.
It was, and Mock also. It was already that. So this was reconnecting, and then Huss just getting right to it, like, yo, I know you got heat over there, send it. So we did that, and then my partner 2K gave Huss a record, which became Are You Down on the Holiday Huss album that came out last Christmas.
Right.
So 2K and I did that record. And then how this threesome thing happened was straight phone conversation. Because I'm gonna give Huss his credit now. Huss don't want to give himself credit for being the producer that he is. Like a lot of these records that you hear from him,
right,
his vision. The Gonna Be record was also his vision. Straight phone conversation, just talking on the phone, like, you know, we going over records. He wasn't even working on Threesome 3. He had another idea for an album that he wanted to do, wasn't thinking about Threesome. Right. And in the conversation, he said, yo, Phantom, he's like, yo, he said, I really want to deep in the 90s with R&B. He was like, I really want to go there. He was like, yo, he was like, I want some Miller Brew. He was like, I want some Maxwell. And I said, word. I said, all right. I said, I'm thinking about this record here. I said, it's one of my favorite records. And then he was like, yo, Fairmont used that for Queens. He was like, yo, he said, I love that. He was like, yo, we gotta flip it.
Right.
So Gonna Be was his vision. When I made the beat, the raw track, and sent it to him, he said, yeah. He said, put the keys on that, send it back to me.
Right.
So, I put the keys on and sent it back to him. And when I sent it back to him, he said, you know what, Phantom, forget that. I'm working on Threesome 3 right now. Let's go. So that's how that happened.
Oh, wow. That's ill right there. So, I know after that, your phone should be ringing a lot more now, you know what I mean, for production.
First things first, I want to appreciate you for saying that. I really appreciate you for saying that. And then I also want to answer that question by saying, my phone has not stopped ringing since this Gonna Be record. I'm telling you that right now. My phone has not stopped ringing. I have DMs every day. Since this Gonna Be, I had to thank Huss for that. Since this Gonna Be record, I got work, bro. I got some work.
Right. So let me ask you a question. You're getting this work. Do you prefer just selling beats, or do you want to work with the artist and do the splits?
Both. I'll do both.
Got you.
I'm flexible.
Right. So you got something in the bag, a DJ Phantom and an MC, y'all, you're producing from top to bottom, or a group or whatever.
Listen, you asking all the right questions. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek into something right now. I can't say the artist.
Okay.
but I got 2 albums coming soon. Both of them don't want me to say a word, so I'm not gonna say none yet. But there's gonna be a DJ Phantom / artist album, and there's gonna be a DJ Phantom / artist album real soon.
Okay. Now, is DJ Phantom gonna ever put out a Chronic-like album? Is that coming in the works?
Well, there's an album out right now that's on all streaming platforms. The name of the album is called I Breathe Music. It's a 99% instrumental album. There's one vocal feature on it, and it's my comment.
Gotcha. I'm writing that down now.
Yep, DJ Phantom, I Breathe Music. You won't miss the cover. There's a robot with the DJ Phantom logo.
Right. Yo, you're doing a lot of big things. That's dope right there. That's dope right there. So, right. Yeah, because I figured, with all the phone calls, what is ringing and things like that, I know artists is hitting you up. You know what I'm saying? So when you send, so they want beats. So, when you send them a pack, how many beats is in a pack for you? How many beats make up a pack for you?
Like 5 to 10.
Okay, 5 to 10. So you don't want to bombard the artist with too many beats.
I don't. And if I have like a communication with the artist,
right,
I'd rather communicate and get a feel for like who you are, your personality, because I like to tailor make beats for whoever I'm working with.
Right.
You know what I mean? I get so much of a joy out of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really like to, like, I'm a surgeon, if you will. Like, you know what I mean? I really want to get to know who you are as an MC, how you like to express yourself, what you like, you know what I mean? Not even as far as like what you listen to outside of hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those, like, I'm trying to get a feel for who you are and then turn around and then use that to cook my beats.
Right. So do you prefer just sending beats, or do you prefer working with the artist in the studio?
I prefer working with the artist, bro.
Right. But nowadays, how things are set up, a lot of these people are here and there. Do you find you have to just send beats?
Yeah. Like, I'd rather not, though. You know what I mean? Because like you playing like an iffy, you know what I mean? Because they might not feel the pack that you send them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily mean that like your beats are whack. It just means that like, you just don't have the right batch. And then like a lot of artists are not patient either. Like, you know what I mean? And I understand that because, everything is in a millisecond. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like your attention span is short. You trying to like, do what you got to do and then move on to the next. And I get that. You know what I mean? But I'd rather not send a beat pack, bro. I really rather not.
Right. Because, one of the frustrating things is to send a beat pack and then they sit on it. They don't get back to you. Them beats, you know what I mean? You're like, yo, are you using those beats? What's going on? It just gets frustrating. Or you give them a pack, they record, but then they still have the beats they didn't use. And you're like, yo, what are you doing with those? I'm taking them. I want to, move those forward. I gave you 15 beats, you use 6 of them. There's 9 beats you ain't used. You still have those beats, but it's like, yo, you know what I mean? I want to use those. If you're not going to use those, give them back to me, or let me know you're not using those, and then I will, circulate them to someone else.
That's right.
And that could be aggravating, whatever. Do you go through that?
Absolutely, I go through that. Like, and I try to understand the artist, because sometimes like the artists, like I know some artists that like to sit on beats.
And we'll hold it for years. Years. And then want to come out and put it out, and you already gave it to somebody else now. And you're like, what?
Listen, I have stories for days on that. Like, seriously, like I know plenty of artists that like to sit on beats, like have a catalog of DJ Phantom beats. Listen, and I'll share something with you. There's placements that I'm still finding out about myself right now because of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, because that could be aggravating. Another thing that's aggravating, you make this beat, because that's why I say it's good to work with the artist in the studio, because you can make this beat and you say, yo, this is a chick song right here. But if you send the beat and you say it's a chick song, they come back with some gangster. It's like, oh man, this is not the vision I had for you rocking over this. You know what I mean?
It happens all the time.
I hate that too. Or no, yeah, all the time. Or no, you weren't supposed to come in on that part. That was the hook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
You rhyming over the hook. No, you supposed to wait. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good to be have the artist with you so you can play the role of the producer.
Absolutely, and set the artist up as far as like to like start the record, the approach for the record, so on and so forth. Yeah.
Right. Because see, a beat maker can be a producer, but a producer may not necessarily be a beat maker.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The beat maker to me is the dude who takes the raw materials. So I have no problem saying I'm a beat maker first. You know what I'm saying? Sampling and actually making the beat. Because Puffy is a producer, from what I understand, but he's not really a beat maker.
Right.
You know, he knows how to give the song direction. He's a
producer in the classic sense.
Right.
Where like, you know what I mean? He's giving direction and he's like, aiding in like in the concept of the actual record and taking it from point A to point B. Right. And that's why I was speaking about Huss earlier, because this is what Huss does. I'm actually trying to get Huss Kingpin to start making beats, because with his vision and how he comes up with concepts for records,
right?
Him producing, my man, like he would be a serious problem. Right. Mock is producing.
Yeah.
Mock Homie's producing.
Right.
But Mock has always been a producer. Let me share something with you. Mock has always been a producer. Magnum has always been a producer. Huss has always been a producer. Like Smooth too. Like they all have visions as far as they know what they want already.
That's
they
the MC. That's that MC producer ear we spoke about. They know what they want to rhyme to.
Right, and that's why I was saying both earlier, and I couldn't give you like a straight answer, but I gave you the DJ producer, because they all have visions. All of them. Q Morocco is nasty. Like he'll take you from point A to point B and give you the entire record. Rock Marciano, same damn thing. Like Rock he's a producer. He is a straight producer. Like and again, like he has the vision from top to bottom. Stove Guard, that Reasonable Drought album, if that's not the greatest example of like underground hip hop production and like taking an artist and like doing something else with him, I don't know what is.
Right, because he showed that he could produce for someone outside of himself.
God, that album
totally different from what he would have gave himself. Right, because he did something totally different than what he would have gave himself.
He wouldn't have gave himself none of them beats.
No.
I know Rock. He wouldn't have gave himself none of them beats. Not those. And it's not to say that those beats are whack, but like he was thinking like the artist that he was working for.
Right.
Or working with.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But yo, DJ Phantom, man, I want to thank you, you know what I mean, for taking time out your schedule, you know what I mean, to chop it over with me. I had to recognize your talent, you know what I mean? Definitely had to recognize your talent, man, you know what I mean? And I'm glad you got back to me, you know what I'm saying? And I want to hear more from you, you know what I mean?
You will hear from me. You will hear a lot more from me real soon. I'm gonna keep you abreast on everything that's going on. And I'm gonna say something to you. Like I watched a few of your interviews, like right after you hit me up. I want to tell you something. You had one of my favorite slept-on producers ever in hip hop on your platform. That damn Minnesota is so funky, yo. I don't hear his name enough in hip hop. I don't. And he's one of the illest to do it.
Yeah,
that brother is funky.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, he set off season 2. Yeah, he set off season. He's the one that set off season 2. He was the first episode. I had to give him that proper respect. He was season 2, episode 1. Yeah.
My God, I was so entertained during that interview. And you interviewed Macapella, right?
Yes, I did.
Say something about Macapella. He's one of my favorites right now.
Yeah.
That dude is funky. Actually, if you listen to the Holiday Huss album, the Are You Down record that I was telling you that I co-produced with my man, he mixed the vocals. Macapella mixed the vocals.
Yeah.
He's nasty.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely dope. Yeah, Huss had a lot of dope people on this latest project, yourself included, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to hear some more from you. You know what I mean? I definitely want to dig in. I'm gonna check this beat CD out. I Breathe Music. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. But once again, I salute you. Thank you for being on Strictly for My Diggers. Yo, keep in touch with me.
I will.
All right?
Thank you.
No problem. Peace.
Peace.
I'm gonna tell you now, I ain't no Kobe.